Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shem Yahushua brought the thumb to the brothers, Yahweh Shemal the thumb by Shem Yahushua to the sisters. I'm Priest Officer Karan Yala, and it's the Tuesday night Brotherhood class. So basically, tonight what we're going to be going over is forsaking your own lust, you understand, for brotherhood, right? America has taught blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans to live like rats, to live like pigs, to live like lustful beings that's just selfish and don't care about anything that anyone else has going on around them, right? If you look at what's going on in the Christian church is the reason for mass homosexuality going on in the Black, Latino, and Native American communities. The Christian church is the reason for mass incarceration, right? Because in Christianity, they teach you that God is love, the laws is done away with, and you basically can do whatever the hell you want to when that's totally against the Lord, right? Now, we see what's going on in these times, these severe outbreaks of this monkeypox. And our people, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we have been indoctrinated by our oppressor, which is the devil that the Bible speaks of, to actually live like them, thinking that it can benefit us when it kills us every time, right? We've seen time and time again with every plague that the Lord plagues this earth with, and who gets the short end of the stick most of the time. And it's blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? The Lord wants us to wake up to the evils that we got going on. He wants us to wake up to the fact that we don't live according to how he wants us to live, and this is why we're destroyed, right? Uh, Let me get Zephaniah 2 and 1. Because blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans need to understand that it's a reason why we dying in the ghettos. It's a reason why our people are strung out on drugs. It's a reason why we number one in all manner of diseases. It's a reason why monkeypox is plaguing the earth, and blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are being destroyed by these plagues given to us by the Lord because we deserve it. We deserve it because we want to be like the rest of these nations. You want to be a Christian. You want to be a Buddhist. You want to be a Muslim, right? You want to worship a goddamn lettuce. You want to worship an Egyptian pharaoh because of all the money that he had. You want to worship Africa, right? And all the riches that Africa had from having you enslaved. And the reason why we destroy is because we don't know how to live. First of all, the Christian church is the reason why blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans don't give a damn about each other. The Christian church is it teaches you to be an evil, selfish, lustful being that cares about nothing but making your own self feel good by just doing whatever the hell you want to, no matter who it hurts, right? This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. The Lord told us to gather ourselves together. We can't gather together when you got blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans indulging in homosexuality, and then with this monkeypox scare, we can't gather ourselves together. We're not living according to the same laws as a whole. So by us wanting to be a part of America, it's impossible, and blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are incapable of gathering themselves together because we dibble and dabbling in all lifestyles up under the sun. Like I said, you want to be a Christian, you want to be a Buddhist, you want to have different denominations of Christianity. You want to be a homosexual, you want to be a drug dealer, you want to be a scammer, you want to be a gangster, a real street nigga. This is not going to help blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans get up out of the hell that the Lord is bestowing on us, right? Like our people don't understand what's actually really going on. And what's really going on is the Lord is plaguing blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans with all these diseases, with these murders, right? With our sons and daughters being murdered by the hands of racist police officers because we not gathering ourselves together and we not coming to our own culture. I can't be in agreement with another black man that calls himself a Muslim. I can't be in agreement with a brother that's in a fake Israelite group because he doesn't have the same principles as the men in the ISUBK up under command of General Yana, right? Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. Don't nobody give a damn about blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? But we love all the rest of these nations to a fault, to our detriment, right? We love all these other nations, even though it's killing us, right? The oppressor tells you that you can live an alternative lifestyle or be a homosexual, and they coming up with new pronouns for people that's in the LGBTQ community and passing laws to where you can't discriminate against these people. In turn, when our people follow the culture and the customs of these heathens, we die in their customs. A so-called white man can eat pork and live to 150 years old. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're gonna die of heart disease. A white man can be a homosexual his whole life. He might die peacefully in his bed, but the law says we can't be homosexuals. So we're gonna die, right? Because the Lord is going to give us what we deserve by breaking his laws, right? Let's go to Psalms 147 and 19. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 147 and verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, these law, statutes, and commandments in this Bible, in the Old Testament, the first 5 books of Moses, are for us. He showed them to us, right? He have not dealt so with any nation. He didn't give these laws, statutes, and commandments to an Asian, an East Indian. He didn't tell Asian people, you're not supposed to eat pork. This is my covenant with you. Keep my laws, and I'm going to make you a special people above everybody else. He didn't do that to nobody but blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. So the lifestyle that the rest of these heathens live, they can thrive in their own lust. They can thrive in eating abominations. It's a delicacy to them, but to us, it's a death sentence, right? Read that one more time. He have not dealt so with any nation. You understand? Your oppressor don't have the law of you cannot be a homosexual. Your oppressor does not have the law of you can't be a drug dealer or a drug addict or a drunkard. That's not something that the Lord gave to the rest of these nations. I'm reading it right here in the scriptures. The Lord said, Salakia, King David is saying, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. You know what a statute is? A statute is a law. A judgment is what's going to happen to you when you break that law. He showed these statutes and these judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. These other nations don't know the judgments of the Lord. Like your oppressor don't get heart disease, diabetes, and all type of madness of illnesses from eating all of these abominations. But our grandmas and grandpas do get this. They don't die at a high rate of obesity and heart disease and diabetes because the Lord did not give them laws on what they can and can't eat. These law, statutes, and commandments are for the children of Israel. That's why we know the judgments. Nobody else is getting slaughtered by the rest of these racist police officers in their own communities. But blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are. Nobody else has to protest about what's going on against what's going on against their people in their community. That stop Asian hate. These Asians ain't had to protest for two, 300 years. You understand? These Asians ain't had to say Asian lives matter, or am I not a man, or am I not a woman? Nah. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans had to plead with these oppressors to be able to live right without being murdered in these streets. And the reason why our people are pleading to these oppressors to no avail is because the Lord is pronouncing judgment on the children of Israel for us wanting to be like these heathens, right? Drop that. Get Romans 15:4, right? Because blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, it's high time to wake up, right? All of the doing drugs, all of the selling drugs, being pimps, whores, and prostitutes, man, that's over with. Wake up, or you gonna die in them dreams, like Captain Akai said, right? It's time to wake up, blacks, Latinos, and natives. When are we going to sit back and look at what's actually going on to black people in the ghetto? When are we going to sit back and actually look at what's going on to the natives on the reservations? When are we going to sit back and say, man, we've been living wrong and the Lord is pronouncing judgment on us? Maybe we should switch up how we live our lives and look to God. Let's try to do what God wants us to do instead of acting like we're doing what God wants us to do. It's time to start questioning these pastors. It's time to start. It's time to actually look at your life and see how you're being destroyed when you think that you're being a good person, right? It's time to start asking these so-called religious leaders and the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans of our community who so-called leaders in the black community. It's time to start asking them questions on why are black people actually destroyed? Because I haven't heard not one of these big-headed Negroes who think that they some type of intelligent person or a so-called educated black person. I haven't heard not one of them in my whole existence of living tell any black, Latino, and Native Americans the solution to not being slaughtered. I haven't heard the solution from none of these so-called religious leaders on how we can get out of hell. But you know where I heard the solution at? Was in the ISUPK up under Commander General Yana. We got the solution. You understand? You see the title to the video. Forsaking your own lust is the beginning of brotherhood. It's time to wake up and stop being drug dealers. It's time to wake up and stop being homosexuals. Our people don't understand that you can't keep living the way that you live and expect different results. If you look in the dictionary, that is literally the definition of insanity. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have been taught to be insane, vile human beings that don't give a damn about nobody else but their own lust, right? It's a lot here. In Romans 15:4. This is the book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, right? If you understand what's going on with blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you would understand that we're we being slaughtered and destroyed, right? This ain't nothing new for blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. God's chosen people have always been slaughtered and destroyed. But if you go look into these scriptures, you see why every time. When one of us, just one of us, chooses to break these laws, statutes, and commandments, the whole nation suffers. I'm gonna read that again. This is the book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. This Bible was written aforetime for blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans today to actually get knowledge from this book and learn from the mistakes that we did in the past, right? We came to these other nations and wanted to be just like them in the past, just like we do in the present day. And what happened? The Lord pronounced judgment on us. We were slaughtered. We were killed. We were removed from our homeland plenty of times. We was brought into slavery plenty of times for breaking the Lord's law, right? But what else also is in this book is the solution to not having to go through those atrocities. And what's the solution to that? Keeping these law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? It's simple. Like the scriptures say, these laws are not grievous, right? Meaning you're not going to be so distraught just because you got to live a righteous lifestyle now. Nah, that's not what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is you're gonna fix your community. You're gonna stop dying from diseases. You're gonna stop dying from racist police officers driving through your neighborhood looking for some young black man or black woman to murder, right? This is the book of First John, chapter 3, and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin also, Salaki, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law, right? The scriptures say sin is the transgression of the law. And what's the wages of sin? According to these scriptures, the wages of sin is death. Meaning, if you sin, you're going to get paid with death. The scriptures say you reap whatsoever they man reapeth, that's also that he sows. You understand? If you are a murderer, you're going to be a murderer. If you're a drug dealer, you're most likely going to die behind selling drugs, right? Or overdosing on drugs. If you are a whore or a homosexual, you're going to die of some God-forsaken awful disease. Just like a rapist and a sexual deviant, you're going to die from these diseases. And it's meat, right? It's supposed to happen to you because the Lord said the wages of sin is death. And death is the transgression of the, I'm sorry, sin is the transgression of the law. So when you transgress this law, when you go against God's laws, you die. And this is why blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to get monkeypox. Homosexuals are going to get monkeypox, right? Drug dealers are going to be murdered by police when they kick in their door and they try to grab their gun to defend themselves against a police officer because he wants to protect this ill-gotten fortune that he got off of destroying his community. Your Christian pastor is going to get robbed for $1 million in jewelry because he's sitting up there lying to the people about what's actually really going on with these scriptures. The Lord is going to pronounce judgment on the children of Israel. The Lord is pronouncing judgment on the children of Israel because he has to clean house. The Lord is tired of it. You understand? The Lord is slow to anger. So if you did something to where you died from it, or you reap the benefits of something terrible happening to you, the Lord was trying to warn you over and over and over again, and you just couldn't do it. And he got tired of it and got fed up with you and pronounced his judgment on you. And if you have to live with it, then you live with it. But if he wanted to kill you, you died, right? It's like you. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have to wake up to not be lustful, evil bastards, right? If you're a drug dealer, right, you don't give a damn if this woman that's coming to buy drugs from you has fed her children. All you care about is your own lust, lining your pockets with the slave master's money, with his face on it, and destroying your own community. If you're a so-called gangster or a thug or so-called real street cat, there's nothing that you won't do to protect the reputation of nobody better not come messing with me. Right? There's nothing that you won't do. You see brothers all the time get into arguments with brothers, or it's a situation to where this neighborhood don't get along with that neighborhood, and the lust on their heart to murder someone is so heavy on them, right? That they literally go to the other side of town, spray up the block, and kill little small children that have nothing to do with anything, right? You got brothers and sisters that hoard themselves out for the oppressor and his money. Speaking about that Christian church, right? They sit up there and tell you that I love God and I fear God, and I'm a sinner, but the Lord knows my heart. Yeah, you're a sinner and the Lord does know your heart. The Lord knows you're a filthy, wicked, lustful human being, and you need to be stopped. Or you need to repent, come into the eyes you became by the command of General Yana, and actually live righteously. Actually live how the Lord intended for blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans to live, so we can get out of captivity and we can rule the planet Earth how the Lord intended us to. Right? So like I'm gonna drop that. It's First John 2:16. Slack it. First John started 2:15. This is the book of First John, chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world. The Lord said, don't love this world, right? Don't love the society that we live in, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Don't be so head over heels to go with what's popular in society. Don't be so head over heels to go to a Christmas party, or go get high and smoke some weed, and do anything that you can just fulfill your lust. Don't The Lord said, don't love this world, right? Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world, and neither should you love the things that are in the society. You should not love the LGBTQ community. You should not love uh um these teachers lying to our children in the public school system about what actually happened in history with blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans in this country, right? You should not love politics. You should not love Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. You should not love the ideology of the American dream. You should not love that America is the melting pot and all nations should come together and live in perfect harmony under the sun. You should not love any of that because that's against God, right? Salakia. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. If you love America, you hate God. If you love these other nations to where you want to marry a heathen instead of marrying one of your own people, you hate God. If you actually go to church and you helping to push the narrative and the doctrine that God loves everybody and we should forgive our oppressor, then you hate God, right? If you celebrate Christmas, your birthday, Thanksgiving, right? Then if you eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, smoke weed, a homosexual, right? A person that pays for prostitutes, right? A person that's a drug dealer, a person that's in a gang, right? Then you hate God, right? If you're a Christian, you hate God. If you're a Muslim, you hate God, right? If you do anything contrary to these scriptures and these laws, statutes, and commandments, you hate God. If you are in a fake Israelite group, you hate God, right? If you got a best friend that you go to work with every day and he's a goddamn heathen and he's living deliciously in this country off of what your forefathers made possible for these heathens to come here and benefit off of, you hate God, right? Verse 16. For all that is in the world, so like it, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. Right? If you a sister that cares about the American dream so much that you would murder your own baby in an abortion clinic, not only do you hate your child, not only do you hate your own people, but you hate God, right? If you a brother that would rob another brother because he has more than you, or you would sleep with another brother's wife because you lusting after what he has, you hate that brother, you hate his woman, you hate your nation, and you hate God, right? Salakia. And the world passes away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. This is the key to eternal life right here. Forsaking your own lusts, right? To do the will of God. Christ said the law hang on these two things. Love the Lord with all your heart, all your soul, and love your brother, right? The law is about loving God and having brotherhood for your people. So you can't be a lustful, evil bastard and still actually have love for blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. If you celebrate Christmas, Valentine's Day, any of these wicked, filthy, stinking holidays that America has taught you to celebrate, you are incapable of loving your people. Because you know what's gonna happen when if you celebrate Christmas and you ain't got no money to buy your kids Christmas presents, you're going to steal from your own people in order to fulfill your own lust of looking like somebody who has somewhat of a social status in this country by buying your children presents. Right? There's nothing that you won't do in order to fulfill your own lust to fit in with society. And you hate the Lord. You hate your people, right? Salakia. We drop that. Get give Galatians 5 and 17. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, it's high time to wake up. You got grown ass men sitting up here celebrating their birthdays and all of these American holidays like they are a goddamn child. Oh man, it's my birthday today, man. Yeah, man, you ain't gonna come out and kick it with me on my birthday, like, brother. Or do you hear do you hear yourself? Can you actually fathom what you're saying and how much you sound like a child, right? Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, it's high time to wake up. It's high time to 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 stop living after your own lust. If you like General Muhammad said it the best. If you do something that makes you feel good long enough, it's going to kill you. You're going to sleep with prostitutes because it makes you feel good, and you're going to catch AIDS and die. You're going to be a homosexual and keep sleeping with the same sex, and you're going to die behind monkeypox, right? I don't know if y'all know what's going on in the world today, but monkeypox is devastating America. Like Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah, for us living in these times to actually see these prophecies that Christ prophesied that was going to happen in the last days. Oh, but it's going to get far worse. It's going to get far worse. There's going to be other diseases besides monkeypox. The men and I, you became under Commander General Yana, we've been telling you that there's going to be more diseases besides COVID. And look at monkeypox. Ooh wee. Monkeypox is destroying people. It's got these homosexuals so scared They don't even want to hug and shake hands. They blowing kisses from across the street. Like I was watching Black Watch the other night, and the general played a clip on these homosexuals basically saying, yeah, gay men have to start looking out for each other. When I heard that sentence, I was like, that does not make sense at all. Gay men should start looking out for each other. Gay men are incapable of looking out for anybody because they are lustful sexual deviants. A homosexual man will molest your child. That's facts. A homosexual woman will molest your child. That's facts. And they sitting up here talking about, gay men have to look out for each other. That's a I forgot what you call it. I think that's they call that an anomaly. Something that a statement that makes no goddamn sense at all, right? Salakia. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. Your spirit and your flesh don't want the same thing. You got blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that sit back, fire up that weed, and be like, man, I need to quit smoking. But you still smoke because your spirit understands that if you keep smoking, you're going to die. But your flesh don't care about none of that because it feels so good. Right? I'm going to read that again. The book of Galatians, chapter 5, and verse 17. So like, for the flesh, so like, I'm going to start at verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Walk in the spirit and don't fulfill the lust of the flesh. Right? Your flesh will get you killed. Literally. Your flesh and how you want to feel good all of the time, that will get you killed. You can literally be like, man, I want to smoke some weed, but you got to go to a neighborhood where the weed is, and it's a terrible neighborhood. It might be shootouts and all of that. Trust me, I was in the world, man. It might be shootouts, all type of nonsense going on in that block, but you're willing to risk your life just to go smoke some weed. And when you go pull up to go buy that eighth of weed, they pull up and let it drip on the whole spot, and you one of the people that get killed. Or what if somebody is trying to rob the person that you buying drugs from, and you just be having to do a hand-to-hand transaction, and they pull up and just jump out and rob you right with them? You make one false move, they shoot you, you dead, all because you wanted to get high, right? It's a lot here. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary to one, contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. Right? Your spirit is in constant battle with your flesh. Because blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we know we're not supposed to be doing this, right? You ever see a drug addict? And man, I gotta get off of this. I gotta get off this stuff, man. This ain't good for me. And the reason why is because your spirit knows that you are going to die. And your spirit, you know that the Lord don't like what you got going on. So you're gonna die behind it. But it feels so good to the flesh. So your flesh is going to walk over there and go buy that half ounce of weed. Your flesh is going to go buy that cocaine, right? Your flesh is going to sleep with that whore unprotected, and you're going to get AIDS. You're going to get monkeypox, right? Even though your spirit is telling you, like, man, look, this ain't a good idea right here. But your flesh, it feels so good to the flesh. So you're going to die in it, right? So like it. Drop that. Get, go back to the book of Romans. Romans chapter 8 and verse 6. The book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death, right? To be carnally minded is death. To think carnally, to think with carnality is death. You're gonna die. You're going to die because you just want to fulfill the lust of your flesh. That's what it means to be carnal, to think with the flesh. Not to think about the consequences of it all, but just to think about something feeling good to you at the moment, right? But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Now, when you think with your spirit, when you think with the spirit of the Lord on you, man, that's life and peace, right? When brothers think about, man, look, I gotta study today. I gotta read these scriptures. I gotta teach this class. I need to go to camp. I gotta make sure I can make it there to Passover. I gotta make sure I can make it to these high holy days. I gotta teach my children how to live how the Lord wants us to live. I got to keep my rib in check with these scriptures and tell her right from wrong and teach her how we supposed to be people of the Lord. That's life and peace. I don't like brothers in the eye should be kept under command of General. We not worried about nobody coming to murder us because we in the street gang or we a drug dealer. We not worried about getting diseases from having sex with prostitutes because we don't have sex with prostitutes. We're not worried about the police pulling us over and murdering us because we don't have drugs in the car. We're not doing anything illegal, so we don't have to be combative with the police when they harass us like they do on so many occasions. This is life and peace in the ISUBK up under Commander General, yeah, right? We not worried about uh uh the things that the people in the world worry about. We're not worried about heart disease because we don't eat pork. We're not worried about dropping dead from eating so many goddamn abominations because we follow the laws in the book of Leviticus, right? This is life in peace to think spiritually, right? Salakia. I'm gonna read that from the top again. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God. When you think carnally, when you think with your flesh, that's enmity of God, enmity against God, which means that is Salakia. The word enmity means it's Salakia. Enmity means to be totally against something. Or what's the word I'm looking for? Salakia. Salakia. Let's look into this Webster Encyclopedia of Dictionaries. I be want to Google it. I be forgetting. I got this big old dictionary right here on this table sitting right in front of me. All right. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, wake up. Don't spend 30, 40, $50 on weed every day. Go buy you a book a day. You understand? Buy you a book every day. Build up your knowledge. Coming to the ISUBK up under Commander General Yana, man. We build men in here. Right? Salakia. Get this real quick. Mm. Enmity, the quality of being an enemy, hostile or unfriendly, disposition, hatred, rancor, hostility. Enmity means the enemy, right? So I'm gonna read that one more time. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God. Having a carnal mind is the enemy of the Lord, right? You're gonna hate God if you got a carnal mind, and the Lord is going to hate you. The scriptures say he hates the sinner. Your Christian pastor tell you he don't hate the sinner, he hates sin. No, the Lord hates sinners. Period. Right? Salakia. For it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. When you think carnally, you are not going to keep the laws of the Lord. This is why all you fake Israelites starve your kids on the Sabbath day because y'all think carnally. Y'all looking at these laws like the so-called Jewish man looks at these laws. You don't think of the spirit behind these laws, right? You think carnally about these laws, right? So you starve your kids, right? You wear fringes on your t-shirts. I ain't finna go too in on y'all, but y'all Christians, just like the Christian pastor in Brooklyn that just got stuck up for $1 million worth of jewelry. You understand? Which that was purely the judgment of the Lord for that man robbing the black community for 10 years, for almost 10 years, right? Salakia. Let's go to the book of James. Blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, man. That lustful demon that we have on us that the Christian church has allowed to fester in the black community is killing you. You are literally dying because you don't want to give up pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You are literally dying because you can't stop being an evil, wicked bastard and stop thinking carnally. Like it. Bear with me, Bubba Kashaw. What they doing up there? All of them? Your mama too? They going to sleep? So like, yeah, it's real. Mm. This is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed, right? When you drawn away of your own lust and enticed by your own lust, you tempted to sin, right? When you sit back, this is why Christ said, man, look, don't lust after a woman because you done already committed adultery with her in your mind. If you look at a married woman for long enough, you're going to have sex with her eventually, right? If you sit around brothers who smoke weed and deal drugs and kill people, you're going to eventually be one of those. You're going to be the same type of brothers those people are because this is who you choose to associate with, and you enticing yourself with these evil lusts. Like it's a saying that I used to hear when I was in the world all the time. If you hang around 10 rich niggas, you're gonna be the 11th one. If you hang around 10 killers, you're gonna be the 11th one. Something like that. You understand? If you go entice yourself with these lusts of this world, then eventually you're gonna indulge in them lusts, right? And in turn, you're going to die from it. Verse 15. Then when the lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Man, look, come on, man. That's the Lord's words, not mine. I can say it how I want to say it, but the scriptures are going to say it way better than me because God is smarter than man. I'm gonna read that again. Then when the lust have conceived, when that lust is born, right? It bringeth forth sin. So when you lust after something, you're going to sin because you're lusting after it, right? And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. And after you've sinned so many times and so much, then that sin is going to kill you. right? Let's go to the book of Second Timothy's this second chapter, right? Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, right? The book of Second Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 22. Like this is 2 and 22. Flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. You understand? It says, flee also youthful lust, right? Because when you're young and impressionable, you might do some lustful things. When you're a young brother that's living in the ghetto, you might smoke some weed. You might have sex with a promiscuous woman, right? You might be a drug dealer. You might do all type of evil stuff. The Lord said, flee those things, right? Flee also youthful lust. And it's childish to be lustful, right? You got brothers that's 30, 40-year-old men that sit back and just smoke weed all day long like a goddamn child, right? You got brothers that's 30, 40 years old that go to the strip club that throw money at naked women like a goddamn child. The Lord said, flee youthful lust. You understand? You got brothers that sit back and still want to sell drugs and scam people out of their money, thinking that it's going to get them somewhere. Thinking that they can make all of this money. Why? So they can buy them some goddamn toys. So they can buy trinkets. So they can buy stuff that doesn't make it's vain. You understand? It's worth nothing really, but they just want to show off like children do, right? When you know how kids is. A kid get a new toy and you want to show it off to your friends, right? Right? That's how a lot of these grown people is. These grown people get money just to show, just to fulfill their lust by showing off to other people, and this is what children do. You understand? You got a lot of grown people that's like, oh, it's my birthday, and they want to go celebrate their birthday and have a spectacular gathering on their birthday and want gifts and want everybody to sing them happy birthday and bring them a goddamn cake like a effing child. This is this is nonsense, man. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 101. And this is a heavy psalm right here from King David, right? This is a heavy psalm right here. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 101. I'm gonna start at verse 1. I will sing of mercy and judgment unto thee, O Lord. Will I sing? I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. Oh, when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you have to stop fulfilling your lust. And King David said, behave myself wisely in a perfect way. You can't behave yourself wisely in a perfect way if you're a person that's out here committing adultery with another man's wife or a woman sleeping with somebody other than that's not her husband. You can't behave. You can't behave wisely in a perfect way if you're a drug dealer or you a gang member, right? Because what you gonna do? You're gonna go outside and murder somebody, and then you're gonna go to jail for the rest of your life, right? That's not wise. That's not smart at all. You're gonna sell drugs to somebody, and somebody else is going to see you getting so much money that they're going to rob you, right? That's not wise. That's not a perfect way. Verse 3. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we need to learn how to set no wicked things before our eyes, right? We need to learn how to curb our appetite to fit in with American society and fulfill our lust and actually think spiritually and actually think, man, nah, I shouldn't smoke weed because that's not responsible to be a drug addict. I shouldn't be a drug dealer because I might be tearing down somebody else's household just because I want to fulfill my greed and lust. No, I shouldn't go to the strip club because a lot of these sisters in the strip club have been molested as children, and it doesn't stop anything if I'm actually promoting these women being molested as a child because I'm actually going to these strip clubs and I'm basically letting them know, no, it's okay how their life turned out because I'm at this strip club giving them money because they got molested when they was a child and this is why they are a stripper. Nah, that's not right. You understand? I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. Here and I should be careful under Commander General Yana. We hate wickedness. We hate drug dealers. We hate gang members. We hate sin. We hate whores. We hate prostitutes. We hate everything evil that the Lord hates, right? A froward heart shall depart from me. I will not know, Salaki, I will not know a wicked person. That froward heart has departed from blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and I should be kept under Commander General Yana. We don't know the old wicked person that we was, right? They tell us all the time, man, you changed, you different. Of course I've changed, I'm different. This is what it means to be born again, right? You can't go through your mother's womb and come out as a baby again, but you can change your ways. You can't clean up your act in the IHBK up under Commander General Yohana and become a righteous brother or sister and actually care about your nation. You can forget about the lust that you did in your former life and change your ways to actually love your own people, right? Verse 5. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. We don't deal with brothers who slander their neighbor privately, right? We don't deal with brothers who backbite other brothers. You understand? When they know goddamn well something is going wrong with their own self and they not seeking counsel for it. We don't allow that in the ISBK under Commander General Your Honor. And if somebody does find out that you're doing that, you will get checked in that counsel. Believe me. Salakia. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. Pride will kill brotherhood in here. Trust me, I know. You understand? Pride is the reason why Black, Latino, and Native American men are at war on the streets. If you're not in this ISBK and you a drug dealer, you a killer, you a murderer, you a pimp, you a prideful, evil bastard. Period. That deserves whatever the Lord is going to put on you because everybody has heard about this Bible. This book, this holy Bible is in everybody's grandmother's house. Trust me, I was a regular guy from the ghetto just like everybody else. And at every grandma house that I went to, it was a King James Version Bible in that house collecting dust. I even got preachers and pastors in my family. Believe it or not. They got the same King James Version Bible that I got. They're not telling you the truth, right? So like, I'm gonna read that again. It says, him that hath an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. The Lord, being proud is an abomination to the Lord, right? Verse 6, mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me, right? That's the men and I should be kept under Commander General Yohana. We strive to be better and better and perfect every single day, according to what the Bible says, right? Verse 7, he that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. We don't kick it and hang around sinners, right? A person that works deceit, and we don't deal with those type of brothers. They can't come stay in my house, right? He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. We don't deal with liars. If you're in a world, man, you have all the qualities of a brother that needs to change, right? Verse 8, I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Lord. And that's what we trying to do, man. We trying to cut off all wicked of our people by showing you your transgressions. Isaiah 51, 58 and 1, Salakia says, cry aloud, show my people their transgressions. I have to show you, thus saith the Lord, that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have become evil, lustful people, and we will not get out of hell unless we curb our lust and actually show some brotherhood for our own people, right? This is the key to success for blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And if y'all, as y'all can tell by the title, this Tuesday night brotherhood class, Salakia, forsaking your own lust is the beginning of brotherhood. Because when you forsake your own lust, if you don't want to get high no more, you're not going to steal from somebody to get high. You're not going to, if you forsake your own lust to sleep with another man's wife, you might not go to that other man's house with a gun in case he rocks up while you having sex with his wife and potentially kill that man. If you don't have the lust of being some rich drug dealer in the neighborhood, you probably won't be outside with a gun ready to commit a murder on somebody that's trying to tell you to stop being a drug dealer, right? Brothers and sisters that deal in homosexuality, right? Look at this monkeypox. If you dealing in homosexuality, this monkeypox is coming so rapidly that you don't even have to have sex with a person to get monkeypox. You can just touch a person that's infected with monkeypox and you infected. If our people, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, would come out of the lifestyle of being a homosexual, then we wouldn't have to worry about touching a person that not even just being a homosexual, actually allowing homosexuals to be around you, having homosexual friends. It like America has taught blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans to just be vile, disgusting human beings. Like I said it again, I'm gonna say it again. We like human rats that live on planet Earth because we want to be like our oppressor so damn much, right? But Salakia, let's go to the book of First Maccabees. Now Salakia, let's go to Christ. Let me show you what Christ did. We'll go to the book of Matthew chapter 4. Because Christ led by example. Christ had demons on him as well. But Christ being a perfect man, being the only begotten son of the Lord, being the most perfect and righteous brother to ever walk on planet Earth, he was able to fight them damn demons and actually curb his own lust for power, right? Curb his own lust to even eat bread, which you need bread to live, right? But Salakia, let's get into it. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 4, and verse 1. Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil, right? Christ was tempted of the devil in the wilderness, right? Verse 2. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward in hunger. Verse 3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command these stones be made bread. This is Satan tempting him. This is a demon on Christ. You understand? Verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Right? So Christ had to fight his demon by curbing the feeling of wanting to actually eat bread, which was like this ain't even lust at this point. Christ just fasts 40 days, right? But he had to fight the demon on him that's telling him, man, look, I got to be the son of God. If I'm really the son of God, I could turn these loaves of bread and I could turn these rocks into loaves of bread. Like, this is Christ actually doubting that he's actually here to save the children of Israel by dying for us. You understand? Salakia. Verse 5. Then the devil, Salakia, I'm going to read that again. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Christ was so seasoned in being able to fight a demon, he had to cut the demon with a scripture. Like, this is literally Christ battling in his own mind. This ain't Christ sitting up here talking to some spirit. Nah, this is Christ having thoughts within his mind. Like, man, look, I'm really the son of God, bro. I'm hungry as hell. And look, I could turn them two rocks over there into bread. He had to check himself like, man, look, I, let me stop playing with the Lord. Let me stop tempting the Lord by actually believing that this is not real. By actually believing that I should not do the things that I have been taught to do because I am Christ. I am the Lord's son. I am the King of Israel to lead these people by example, to die for my people so they can be resurrected again to out of this dead state of mind so they can actually be called the children of the Lord for eternity when I come back and save these people, right? Christ had to fight that demon. He had to curb his own lust, right? He gonna curb some more lust, right? Verse 5. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple and saith unto him, if thou be the son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels, so like it, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Man, look, Christ is battling a cold demon right here. This is Christ battling suicide. Like he's sitting on a high place, and in his mind, he like, man, I should just jump off this building. And if I'm the son of God, then the Lord is gonna save me. Come on, man. That's tempting the Lord, and that's foolish if he would have actually done it. But this is what Christ does, right? Verse 7. Jesus said unto him, it is written, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. He had to cut him again. Don't tempt the Lord. Nah, man, I'm not jumping off here, man. That's foolishness. I'm gonna tempt the Lord, and he's actually going to allow me to die by trying to challenge God, right? Salakia. Verse 8. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Now the devil is telling him, Christ in his head, look, you bow down and worship me, man, I'm gonna make you the king of the whole planet Earth. This is in his mind a demon of lust for power, trying to get him to go against what he has to do for his nation of people, right? You know how many brothers and sisters actually had to have this same demon on them today, and they're not strong enough to actually fight this demon, so they do all that they can to try to get to the top of power, to try to get to be the king of the world, so to speak, or to live the American dream. You understand? And they don't have enough strength to actually fight this demon off, to actually live how they're supposed to live, to actually come into the ICBK, abundant command and general Yohana, and actually be a priest, and actually teach these classes, and actually live these high holy days, and actually keep these Sabbaths. You understand? Nah, a lot of brothers won't come into the ICBK because they chasing women, because they chasing money, they chasing a high, they chasing power, they chasing lust, they chasing greed, right? Christ knew better than that, right? Salakia. Uh, verse 10. Then said Jesus unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it's written, thou shalt not worship thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Christ cutting these demons left and right. You understand? Left and right. Right? Verse 11. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. Right? That demon came off of Christ. By him having a will to be a strong warrior and a soldier to actually endure these evil, wicked thoughts in his head, these demons left him. You understand? And this is what the men and I should be kept under command of General Yana. We do this day to day. We fight demons all the time, right? We curb our own lust all the time because we love the Lord our God with all of our hearts and soul, and we love our brothers and sisters. We love the children of Israel so much that we're not getting high. We love the children of Israel so much that we're not going to the strip club. Unlike some of these fake Israelite groups that you see in these clubs trying to get at promiscuous women. You understand? Just like in the ICB camp under Commander General Yana, we accept no heathens. If you're African, the East Indian, the Asian, you can't come in here. The Lord is totally against us coming together with you, right? So like, I'm gonna drop that. We get Deuteronomy 7:3. Just like them purple homosexuals that allowed that wonderful sister Joy Morgan to get murdered by that goddamn Hamite, right? Because these evil, lustful bastards, they want power. They actually want to be able to thrive in the society, right? Right now. They land up treasures for themselves right now. They ain't laying up treasures for themselves in the heavens that's to come, that's gonna be on planet Earth. These evil bastards is allowing Hamites to come into their school and murder our children, right? It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. You understand? Don't have a demon on you to allow you to go have sex with an oppressor's daughter, or go have a baby with a goddamn Asian who had your people in slavery, just like these East Indians did before, just like these so-called Caucasians did before, just like the so-called Jewish man did before here in America, right? These brothers and sisters outside of the ISUBK, they don't know how to curb their own lust to actually love their own people, right? So, like, I'm gonna read that one more time. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou give unto thy son. If you a black, Latino, or Native American, and you married to a white person, or East Indian, or Jewish person, or a Tongan or a Samoan person, you are an evil, lustful person, and you don't give a goddamn about your people. You don't give a damn about the slaughtering of your people. You give a damn about that other nation that you married on to. You give a damn about Ling Ling, Becky, and Su Young. You don't care about Star Keisha that's being in the ghetto being molested by her uncle. You don't give a damn about the sisters that live right around the corner from you that got to struggle just like you and go to the same effed up schools that you went to when you was a child. Nah, you give a damn about these Caucasians and living the American dream. You man, you fake Israelites and you Christians, y'all are disgusting, lustful bastards. And it's time to wake up. It's time to get out of that Christian church and actually love your people instead of giving all your love to the rest of these goddamn heathens. You understand? But Salaki. Let's go to the let's go to the book of Maccabees, right? Let's get some more on this evil, lustful spirit that our people has had on us throughout times in the history of the world, right? This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. This is literally the same spirit that Martin Luther King had on him. Martin Luther King wanted to make a covenant with these goddamn Caucasians in this empire just so he could sleep with white women, right? He wanted to make a covenant, and first of all, the Negro got money from the Communist Party in Russia, I believe, right, to help him basically fulfill his own lustful demons. Meanwhile, he's selling black people out left and right, right? Look at what's his name, Reverend Al Sharpton. This Negro did things like this in the past. He would protest against Honda. Look, man, I'm gonna start coming out and saying stuff about Honda and how y'all don't hire black people, and we the number one people that buy y'all cars in this country. What do Honda do? Honda writes this ignorant Negro a check, and he ceases from talking about Honda discriminating against black people. He did the same thing with McDonald's. Oh, y'all, how most of us work in your establishments, and y'all can't give us the proper wages that we deserve for build up your establishment. What they do? They write that Negro a check, and he shut up, right? Same spirit that these brothers had in the book of Maccabees. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, right? Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. You know why these brothers felt like they had much sorrow? Because they couldn't fulfill their lust on sleeping with them Greek women. They couldn't fulfill their lust on keeping the customs of these people that live about them because they wanted to be exactly like these other people. This is literally the same spirit that Eve had on her in the garden. When she was enticed by that serpent to actually go against her way of life to be like the rest of these heathens, the scriptures say the food was pleasant, right? This food for thought was pleasant to her, and it sounded good to her to actually be able to do whatever the hell they was doing back in those times, right? Just like these brothers right here, they wicked men who persuaded many. Let's go make a covenant with these heathens, because since we departed from them, we can't sin like them. We can't fulfill our lustful demons like these other heathens. So we should go make a covenant with them, right? Reading on. Verse 12. So this device pleased them well. And this device pleased them well because they talking to other wicked, lustful bastards, right? Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. These brothers and sisters wanted to be so much like these damn heathens. They had a demon on them fulfill their lust so damn bad that they actually went to the king to get a license to be like these goddamn heathens. That's what's going on today. You got black men that actually want to live the American dream so much that they're going to go to the police academy, graduate the police academy, be on the force making $250,000 a year, knowing damn well the reason why the police are thriving is because the government put drugs in your community so they can lock up every black man on every street corner. And this is why police officers get paid so much, because the government has taken crafty counsel against blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans in our community. A lot of crimes are committed because of economic reasons. This black man that actually grew up in these same type of ghettos, he wants a license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. This ordinance that I'm talking about is being a slave catcher. That's the ordinance of the heathen. That's the ordinance of your oppressor in this country, a slave catcher. The same thing as Roman Egypt. You understand? These Roman soldiers was actually around policing black people in our communities in Rome, right, to keep us in line and in check. Same thing how we had taskmasters in ancient Egypt. And our people, they lust after the power of this goddamn oppressor so much that they go to the king to get a license to do after the ordinance of these heathens. Mm, 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 mm. Evil, right? Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. This place of exercise at Jerusalem was after the customs of the heathen, and this is a gymnasium, right? Because if you look at the history of a gymnasium, this is the Olympics is something that came from the Greeks. They used to have games, right? Festivals, to where they'll be in these gymnasiums and participating in these so-called what they call the Olympic Games now, but participating in these exercises back in with no clothes on. When that is against our customs, that is against our culture to walk outside with no goddamn clothes on. The Lord, like we have laws about showing your nakedness to people, right? Verse 15, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. Our people made themselves uncircumcised, physically and spiritually. We stopped circumcising our little boys on the eighth day, and we made our hearts uncircumcised, our minds uncircumcised. We started to do after all the customs of these goddamn heathens, right? Evil, filthy, wicked, lustful bastards that we learned to be like, and in turn we learned to be just like these heathens, right? So like here, I'm gonna jump down to verse 40, 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his law. So all the heathen agreed to do to the commandment of the king. Verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed idols and profaned the Sabbath. Ooh. That's what's happening. That's what's happening today. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we have learned to be just like these heathens. We have learned to do exactly what their customs tell them to do. And their customs is contrary to how the Lord wants his chosen people to live. We supposed to be a righteous, holy people that actually cares about our nation. And we're supposed to be a kind people. We're supposed to be a wise people. We're supposed to have certain laws to where the heathens will look at us like, man, these people are very wise. Damn, I've seen somebody die from heart disease before, and they did eat a lot of pork. Well, these brothers and sisters don't even eat pork, and they've never seen a heart disease person in their nation. That's how they're supposed to look at us. They're supposed to look at us like, damn, there's nobody in the Black, Latino, and Native American community that ever has gotten AIDS or monkeypox. Man, it makes sense because they don't have any homosexuals over there. That's how they're supposed to look at Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. But instead, we fulfill our lust in this empire. We're the biggest weed smokers in America. We've turned to evil and worse people than our goddamn oppressor. Right? The oppressor used to be the biggest murderer in America. He used to be the biggest murderer in America. Now who's the biggest murderer in America? Black women and these abortion clinics killing their own babies for in hopes of a better future. Right? That's the ordinance and the customs of the heathens. That's sacrificing your child to Molech. That comes from ancient Babylon. Right? Our people need to wake the hell up and understand that we destroying ourselves want to be like these goddamn heathens. We are destroying our lives, the lives of our children and the rest of our nations by being lustful people and not having any brotherhood for our own nation, right? You got brothers that literally go online and Instagram and Facebook and brag about sleeping with other men's women just because they're lusting after what this brother has. Meanwhile, these people might have a family. You didn't split up a broken home, but just because you have a lustful demon on you to pass on the trauma that probably happened to you, you don't give a damn about what happens to that family, to that child. You don't give a damn that you sleep with that woman. She ends up getting a divorce from her husband. Then she sleeps with other men after she leaves her husband because of what happened with y'all. And then somebody else rapes that child because that woman committed adultery with you first. Understand this, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. If we keep living like lustful bastards, we're going to die in this place. I'm going to get Revelation 18:4 real quick. Then I'm going to jump back into the book of Maccabees. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 8 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of the plagues of her sin. Right? The Lord is telling blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans through the mouth of the priests and prophets in the eyes you became under Commander General Yohana to come out of this ideology of America. Come out of thinking that you can live a filthy, wicked alternative lifestyle and you will never get monkeypox because you're going to get monkeypox. Come out of thinking that you should celebrate these so-called holidays that the oppressor has taught you to celebrate when the Lord said he is against these holidays. Come out of the mind frame that nobody else in the world matters but you. Sisters, stop having hot girl summers. Brothers, stop sleeping with prostitutes. Stop killing your brothers. Stop selling your people drugs on them street corners just so you can fulfill your own lust of buying whatever stuff you want, which doesn't mean a goddamn thing after you buy it. Right? Christians, get out of that church. Christian pastors, y'all need to stop lying to our people. Y'all are the number one perpetuator of destroying the black community without black people actually knowing that it's you. Stop shucking and jiving for your slave master. You ain't doing nothing but tearing down the future generations of people that are the same as you. Yeah, your immediate family, your child might be able to go to a prestigious college. Your child might be able to live the delicious life that your oppressor has taught you to be accustomed of. But what about that other black, Latino, and Native American family that grew up in a ghetto just like you? Don't they deserve a chance to have a chance at life? Don't they deserve a chance to not be in poverty? Don't they deserve a chance to actually know the truth of what's going on in the Bible since you are a so called man of God, Christian pastor? Don't they deserve a chance to actually not have to suffer in a ghetto and die from diseases and all manner of evil? Don't they deserve to know that the law is not done away with? And the reason why we are being destroyed is because we don't keep the law? Come on, man. Verse 5. For our sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. The Lord is going to remember the iniquities of this place, this empire that we live in. And if you are participating in these sins, you're going to die in these sins just like your oppressor will die in these sins, right? I'm going to drop down. Let's get back to the book of First Maccabees. Slack. It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. This is the spirit that Commander General Yohana has, and that he's taught the men in the eyes should be cast under him. We zealous for this law of the Lord, right? We don't give a damn about how y'all look at us and make fun of us because we wear these funny head pieces and we out there screaming at the top of our lungs because we ain't got nothing else better to do. Nah, that ain't why we do it. The reason why we do what we do is because we actually love blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. We get on the street corner and tell you your sins and cry aloud, just like told to us in the book of Isaiah, the 50th chapter. We cry aloud because the Lord has taught us how to be brotherly toward our people. The Lord has taught Commander General Yohana to teach the men up under him to actually love your people. The Lord has given us the breath of life. This is the breath of life. These law, statutes, and commandments. If you celebrate Halloween, uh, 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 Easter, 4th of July, eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, man, you are dead. You are dead. Wake up. You can't eat pork and actually give a damn about your people. Because as soon as we tell a Christian, yeah, you can't eat pork and woo woo. Well, God made all animals clean and woo, all of this type of nonsense and BS. But then when I go to Matthew, the 5th chapter, the 17th verse, where Christ said, I ain't come to do away with the law. When I go to 1 John 3 and 4, when it says sin is transgression of the law, then they want to get combative, right? Give y'all a quick story before I end the class. Not too long ago, they had an event in Oakland that me and a couple of the brothers up here had went to, and we was doing interviews, and we was approached by this older lady, right? Now, me giving her the benefit of the doubt, when I first seen her, I kind of figured that she was a homosexual lady, right? She was kind of dressed like a man a little bit, but I didn't pay it no mind. So she asked us and was like, what was our purpose of what we doing? And my response to her was, our purpose of doing this is to get blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans out of the hell that we have been receiving in this country by not keeping the laws of God. Now, her response was, well, how do we know that those are the laws of God? And how do you know that those laws actually came from God? How do you know that that's just not some book that they gave black people? Now, when she said that, the brother that I was with, Officer 500, not his he was like, hey, Salaki, let me ask you a question. He was like, do you believe in the Bible? And she was like, no, right? Not as our seasoned response was, well, when I look at the Bible, I look at the righteous laws in the Bible. I look at the laws of you're not supposed to molest children. You're not supposed to be a drug dealer. You're not supposed to be homosexual. Now that struck a nerve with her. She was like, "Oh well, I am homosexual," and he was like, basically, she admitted that she knew she was not supposed to be a homosexual, right? And she stated that she didn't believe in the Bible, right? So when she said that, and she just revealed to us that she was a homosexual, I said, "Oh, it makes sense why you don't believe in the Bible." Because the Bible condemns homosexuality and the lifestyle that you want to live, the Lord is against that in this Bible. She was livid after that. Like she was mad as hell. She told me I was ignorant. She didn't want to talk to us anymore. When I said, "Oh," I just said a true statement. oh, I understand why you don't like the Bible because the Bible condemns homosexuality, and you are a homosexual woman. So I would understand why you don't deal with the Bible. And she was mad as hell. Understand? And that's the spirit of Christianity. That's the spirit of us not having love for our own people, right? She was so forward in her own lust and her own demons that she told me I was ignorant. She said a few choice, unkind words to me just because I actually seen why she didn't want to hear from out of the Bible. And the reason why she didn't want to hear from out of the Bible is because she wasn't willing to to she wasn't willing to forsake her own lust to actually love her people, right? With that being said, once again, I'm Preacher Officer Karan Yala, the ISUBK. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment. You understand? The water to the brothers and sisters that tapped into the class. We're gonna try to push these out more often than not. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Brak Thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Lathan by Shem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. Shalom, Israel.